Hi everybody and welcome to the EDR 344 online class. You don't get to see me in person this week, but you get to see me on this lovely video with this lovely backdrop of my boring white wall in my office. Woohoo! It's a little bit of a different kind of class, but like I mentioned before, more and more schools are moving to some type of online learning, so more and more students are online more often than ever before. Definitely more often than I was when I was a kid and when I even taught. And I was in the classroom from 2005 to 2009, and we still did not have this much technology available to my students. So definitely the teaching world, education world is changing. So it's important to learn about digital technologies and how that can impact our writing instruction. So that is going to be the focus of today's online class. So to get a sense of this, the first thing that you're going to do in this module is watch a video called A Vision of K-12 Students Today. It's about 4 minutes long. It's a real quick video, but it sets the stage really nicely for what you're going to do the rest of the time today. So as you watch, I want you to think about how this new information about students in the 21st century that you're going to get from the video may impact how you teach them writing. So these are going to be future students in your classroom, so important to think about that. Next, I want you to read the article by William Kist and others called Web 2.0 in the Elementary Classroom, Portraits of Possibilities. This is a 7-page article that features stories of teachers that have used technologies like blogs, Twitter, and other website creating technologies to enhance their language arts instruction. It's very important to read these stories, see how other teachers have done it, and to kind of read about some of the challenges and opportunities of using those technologies. And then you can figure out how they have adapted their language arts instruction to include these technologies. Pay particular attention to writing and what they have been able to do with writing. So those are the first two things. Watch the video, read the article. Then after reading the article, I want you to do some exploring now. I want you to find a new technology that you are not familiar with or that you've heard of but you don't use or that you've always wanted to try. I want you to explore this technology and think about how this could be used in your future classroom. So some examples could be blogging, and Blogger is one way to do that. WordPress is another blog. Twitter, Prezzies, VoiceThread, iMovie, Windows Movie Maker, Animoto, Glogster, Weebly, Edmodo, Schoology. I know it seems like I'm not speaking English, but I want you to, these are all different types of technologies that you could pick. So remember, I want you to pick something that you're not familiar with to research and play around with. If you're a regular Twitter user, don't pick that. You already know enough about that. If you always use Prezzies in your classes, don't pick that either. But if you've always seen Prezzies being used but you've never tried it, then go ahead and pick it if you're interested in doing that. That's actually a really good way to choose something. Whether you've heard of it, you've always wanted to play with it, this is your opportunity to do so. The list I just rattled off is not an exclusive list. I don't know all of the technology that's available. If there's something that I've never heard of that you wanted to try, choose it. I would love to read more about it. So this is not an exhaustive list. I actually, most of this list has been made over the years from my college students that have found new things and have presented those to me. So I would love to hear more if you have it. When you pick a new technology to explore, really dig into it. If it requires creating an account, create one. Most of these are free or have free versions. If it involves making a presentation, make something. Make a test one just to play around with it. In other words, don't just Google about this new technology and tell me about it. Actually really try to create something with it. I don't care what it is that you create. It could be something that's useful for you. It could be something you're going to use in another class. Or it could just be, I'm going to throw some personal photos in here and see how this works, or I'm going to write test words and see how this works. What you create is not as important as the process of you learning about the technology, playing around with it, digging in, and then thinking about how you could use it in the classroom. The most important piece is that you're trying something new here. So that's the exploration part of your online module. So after you've watched that short video, read the KIST article, played around with the new technology, now you're ready to write your reflection task in Google Drive. So you're going to create a new document called Digital Learning Reflection. That's what I want you to title it. In your reflection, you're going to write two things. First thing, how does technology and digital literacy change or impact what we have learned about so far in EDR 344? So how does the new technology that you've learned about, how does what you've learned about our 21st century students might change how you teach them writing? How might it change your writing instruction? So first piece of your reflection is going to be how might this adapt what you learned about writing so far? Second thing you need to do is you're actually going to write about the new technology that you chose to explore. What is it? What can you do with it? What did you like or not like about it? Was it easy or difficult to learn? What are ways you could incorporate this specific technology in your classroom? If you can, set a timer for 45 minutes and plan to write for that amount of time, just like we do in class. Get your music going. You can actually choose the playlist this time, and just write. This will ensure that you've given yourself an ample amount of time to write a really good reflection. Your reflection will need to be completed by the end of the day today, Monday, April 7th at 11:59 p.m. Just put it right in Google Drive, and I'll be able to check it. There's nothing else that you need to submit or hand in or anything like that. This reflection will be your evidence that you've completed your online module for today. So you have to do it by the end of the day today in order to get points for attending our online class and for it to be considered your attendance for today, right? If you don't do it by 11:59, it'll be considered just as much as an absence in the course. That being said, if you're struggling to complete something by 11:59, please communicate with me. Always very important, just like you would in absence. If you don't want to keep watching this video and seeing my lovely face and hearing my lovely voice, I have an online task checklist, and everything I just said in the last 6 minutes or so is written out in like a list form so that you can check it off as you complete it for the module today, and it outlines everything you need to do, including the specifics about the reflection task in Google Drive. So I highly recommend pulling that up unless you want to just watch this over again. Couple things to note about upcoming classes. April 14th, next Monday, we are back in person. And that is our last official class period that we are meeting. So come prepared to ask questions about your final assignment, which is the classroom instructional plan assignment. On April 21st, I know we are supposed to meet, but due to a lovely goof on my part, instead what I'm going to do is make this an optional class. I'll be hosting a session to work on that classroom instructional plan assignment. That is due that night during our usual class time, 9:30 to 12:15. So I'll be there answering questions. It'll be a good workspace. So that'll be April 21st. So those are our next 2 class meetings in EDR 344. Please take the time this week to read over that assignment sheet, that classroom instructional plan assignment. Read it over. Maybe even sketch out a quick outline of what you might want to write about. Be prepared. Come with questions. I know it's not due till April 21st, but by the time we see each other again on the 14th, it'll be a week away. So this will be a great opportunity to come with questions so we can talk about that assignment. Finally, I am in Philly right now, flying back from a conference where I presented on using Twitter in the classroom. So digital learning and digital technologies are quite a passion of mine to research and to examine how they work in classrooms. I'd be happy to talk about that with anyone if I come back, but if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can get updates about what I've been doing all weekend at the conference and some of my work. So I am at Annie Whitlock there. So if you're a regular Twitter user or if you're experimenting with it for today's class, feel free to follow me. Have a fabulous Monday, and I will see you all again next week. Please communicate with me this week if you need anything. Have a great day.